It is time for SEC play. Are the Tigers ready to go into Norman and get a dub?
Midweek report coming at you guys here on a Wednesday, brought to you by our friends at the Rage Room, our title sponsor for tonight's show, our title sponsor for every Wednesday show. You can find the Rage Room in Opelika at 1510 2nd Ave, Opelika, Alabama, or if you're in the Birmingham area, 2616 7th Ave South. The Rage Room, a great place to do some team building and maybe a fun date night, something you haven't done before. If you've never broken a windshield with a bat, oddly satisfying. The Rage Room can help you experience that for the first time. One thing we hope you guys experience for the first time are these patron memberships. $5.99 a month will get you there, folks. Auburn takes on Oklahoma in Norman for the first time in college football history. When it's all said and done, you want to break down film with Ike and see what happened or didn't happen on the film. These film reviews have been getting a lot of feedback from you guys on social media, in the DMs, in the comments to the show. You guys are loving it. Sign up for a patron membership so I can keep doing it. Some of our staple patron content. We appreciate all our patrons, even our supporter level members. We appreciate you guys as well, too. You can help somebody else get the gift of the War Rapport by hitting that gifted membership button. See if we can get 50 given away today, Ike. 50 in honor of the 50 spot we hope Auburn drops on Oklahoma here offensively. Maybe a little ambitious. Check us out on podcast, all the podcast platforms. We are there with the Auburn Express, Uptempo, College Loop, Just a Sec, and the War Rapport gaming channels. Lots of great audio-only content. Help us continue to climb the podcast charts. We are on pace for record audio numbers this month. That is in large thanks to you guys, the listener. We do it for you guys. So help us out. Continue to listen, subscribe, turn on all alerts and automatic downloads. I want to thank our friends at the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code RAPPORT to get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. Do you have some non-traditional ailments that might require some non-traditional remedies? Well, the Rogue Shop might have something for you. Again, rogueshop.com. Use code RAPPORT, get 15% off today. I want to thank our friends at AIMA. That's Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. At Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates, you get clear, straightforward advice from a team of fiduciaries who always put your interests first. They've been helping clients grow and protect their wealth since 2003 with no gimmicks and no products to sell, just disciplined investment management. Whether you're starting out, building a portfolio, or looking to preserve wealth for the long term, AIMA provides guidance tailored to your goals, giving you confidence in every financial decision. Call AIMA at 912-777-4128. Again, that's 912-777-4128. Or visit AIMAINC.com to see how they make investing simple and effective. The War Rapport has been compensated by Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates for this endorsement. AIMA is a registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The information in this advertisement is for informational purposes only and should not be considered personalized investment advice. All investment involves risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Call AIMA today. Last but not least, I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. You can find them at 3462 Crosswoods Road, Suite E in Phoenix City, Alabama. Get fresh for the weekend with the Vibe Vault, not just barbers, lifestyle consultants. All right, guys, that's it. That was a mouthful. Let's start the show.
All right, people, we are here. It is time for SEC play to begin. Auburn takes their second road trip this season. This time to Norman for the first time in program history, taking on the Oklahoma Sooners, a matchup of get this, 2 top 25 teams. This is a drastic difference from where these teams were last year when they faced off against one another. But it's time to do this here on the Plains. Auburn versus Oklahoma, both teams 3-0 in Memorial Stadium, going down at 2:30 on on ABC this Saturday. When I made this graphic, the line was Oklahoma with a 6.5 point favorite there. So favored by just under a touchdown. 49.5 was the over under, and the ESPN Football Power Index says that Oklahoma has a 65.3% chance of winning. Auburn has never defeated Oklahoma and lost last season in a ridiculously brutal fashion, 27-21, right there on the Plains. This year looking to get a little get back as they make the trip to Norman. Let's get in here and talk about this game. 2:30 p.m. on I keep saying ESPN, ABC. What are we thinking about this one? And I got to fix this graphic. It says 65.5 spread, which is crazy.
Right. Oklahoma minus 65.5. While you're doing that, I've gone back and forth over this game. I don't know what to make of this one. I feel like both teams have improved so significantly over what they were last year. This will be the first chance. And yes, I'm saying first chance because I'm not sure how much of an actual test Michigan was for Oklahoma. I think we maybe just learned Michigan isn't the team that won the national title here a couple years ago. But what is going to prevail in this game? Is it going to be the improved Auburn offense? Is it going to be that absolutely nasty Oklahoma defense? I can't stress to you guys enough. When they played Alabama last year, they gave up less than 250 yards of total offense and no touchdowns. Matter of fact, they gave up one touchdown so far this year or none? One? I think it's one. These guys are for real on defense. They were last year. But where I see light at the end of the tunnel is Auburn still managed 21 points against that defense. They returned 7 starters, as far as I could see, for this year's defense for Oklahoma. And I thought it was an accomplishment to manage 21 against those guys last year. They did really, really well. Auburn racked up almost 500 yards of offense on Oklahoma when Alabama couldn't manage 250. And that was with a true freshman, Cam Coleman. That was with no Eric Singleton. That was with a true freshman, Malcolm Simmons. But they still had one of the best rushers in the SEC in Jarquez Hunter. And a line that helped him be the second best rusher in the SEC. Would have been first if he had got as many carries as Dylan Sampson got. I'm not sure what to make of this game. I've heard people tell me they feel like it's going to be a shootout. I can't subscribe to that. I think these defenses are too good at keeping other teams off the scoreboard. I think John Mateer is going to have a day. But I was watching Crane & Co. earlier today, and they feel like the pass game is going to open up the run game for Oklahoma. I don't see that happening.
It's possible. I mean, usually if teams are good at doing one, then they have the ability to make the other
Didn't
one.
work.
Listen,
Didn't work for Baylor.
Baylor, I don't think Baylor has as good an offensive line. And I'm not saying that Oklahoma's offensive line has performed great this season, but I do believe that from what I watched on film, Oklahoma actually, as the games wear on, get better in their run ability.
Ooh.
Early in the games, for whatever reason, they're not doing well. But as the games wear on, they get better with that. And they have the quarterback run that has been very successful for them so far. But listen, I don't cover Oklahoma. Maybe I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But you know who does cover Oklahoma and has a lot of information on the Sooners? Our guy, Jay Smith, who's joining us right now. He has his podcast over there covering the Sooners. He was on with us last year, hipping us to everything that should be going down in this game. And he is back to talk about what is going on down there in Norman, Oklahoma. Unfair Sports, Locked On Sooners in the building. Jay Smith, what up?
Hey man, don't be giving them like too much excitement here. You gave a little too hype, a little too hype. I don't want to let everybody down or whatnot. And why did my focus go out on my camera? That's just
Nah,
disrespectful.
you're good, brother. You good.
There we go. Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. Yeah, we've got a lot of ball to talk, man. It's SEC opening weekend. I'm stoked.
Yeah, man. Neither team has had an SEC game thus far. First trip ever in the history of these schools. Auburn making the trip to Norman. A lot of great storylines, of course, with Jackson Arnold making his return visit to face his former team. I mean, we can rattle off the things. Jaden Ott and his history with Auburn, with his two games with Cal versus Auburn the last two seasons. There are storylines.
That guy.
He ain't gonna help you in this game.
I didn't even think about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. R. Mason Thomas being out for the first half of this game because of a targeting call late in the Temple game. Like, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
Jaden said the jerseys don't matter when he came over the first time. He said it don't matter. It's just a name. I bet you it's not just a name now that he's at Oklahoma.
He's toting that one there. Right? He's toting that one there. But no, listening to y'all talk about it though, Mike, I think you make a really good point that most people are throwing this one as a shootout. A lot of people are believing, they're going to be guns a-blazing. Nah, man, it's going to be a defensive battle. I've watched a lot of tape on y'all's defense and the team. When they buckle down, they buckle down. And then the offense, the one thing is y'all have been very blessed and fortunate that every team you played against is kind of idiotic. They don't stop the run. Like, they don't make an attempt. Like, what was Baylor doing? I still ask that question about that game. Like, dog, I understand you want to go into a too high safety because you were scared of Cam as well as Singleton. Totally get that. But you're just going to let them just keep running it down your throat over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? That's how you're going to play this? Nah, I think it's going to be a for real battle. It's going to be a chess match between both coordinators on both sides of the ball, finding ways to move the ball. I think it's going to be better than people anticipate. Now, I mean, the spread is sitting at 6.5 on some books.
I think it's about
roughly. I've heard some they expect it to move to about 7.5 once the Sharps money drops on Friday. I think it stays in the 6-point range, right? I think that's going to be a lot closer. I actually expect more field goals. And that's actually one thing somebody else mentioned to me the other day. And when I thought about it, I was like, that's a good point. That when either team get closer into the red zone, you're probably going to end up seeing a lot more field goals than people expect. So that's kind of my overview of this game. R. Mason Thomas being suspended is so stupid. Like, what are we doing? Can y'all tell me what the targeting rule is? I would like somebody to explain that to me, and then I can tell you if that's what he did in the game.
I think so. In the rule book, it states that targeting is whatever the officials decide that week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I guess he did target.
Yeah.
Dang. My bad, guys. That's basically what happened. Because that's all we saw is he literally he pulled up to keep from hitting the dude, of course bumped him, and then they say, you dropped your head but you're supposed to swat at passes, right? Like, isn't that like one of the rules that coaches be teaching their players
the way
to knock down passes?
Because Oklahoma plays Auburn this week, it was clearly assault with a deadly weapon. Straight to Alcatraz. There
we go. Yeah,
no, I get it. Jay, you and I, we've talked a little bit over the last week or so about this game. Oklahoma fans have been great, by the way, coming by the content. I think you told me last week some folks was dropping the vids over on your side. We appreciate that. But I think that this game is what the SEC is all about.
Yeah.
Two storied programs. And look, they played a couple times over the last, 10 years? Oklahoma won both those pretty handily.
Bowl game and then last season, yeah.
And I'll tell you this. I think that the winner of this game makes the college football playoff. think I said this on the Auburn Express. I think the winner of this game makes the college football playoff, and the loser is not necessarily out of it. But this game is going to springboard somebody forward. The loser's not dead because it's the SEC. The SEC's got a shot to get 5 teams in the thing. She's got to win 10. So
it's funny you say that.
I don't know, man. Our fans have accused us of being John Mateer stan accounts, and I just think he's good. The same way I thought, before we played Baylor, before Auburn played Baylor, they said the same thing about Sawyer Robertson. I don't understand why y'all doing it. And then he went into 400 yards. It was all they could do because they sure as hell couldn't run the ball on Auburn. But he was good. He's good. And then he went and threw for even more yards on SMU the next week. We don't have to do this. John Mateer is good. But he can't call it what you want. He could be good for a turnover or two. Can Auburn capitalize? Can they turn that into points in this game? Because last year when Oklahoma got their turnover, pick 6 to the house. Game over, man. That was it. There's a difference in the game. I think we could have the same kind of game this year.
You say that too, and I actually agree. Winner of this one's probably on the right track for the playoff because both of us play at least 5 ranked teams in conference this season.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
It's getting bananas. And for the most part, all of these teams should be ranked by the time we see them. I think the only one I could see potentially falling out, because right now South Carolina's not even ranked, and we play them in 4 weeks. They'll probably come back. Vanderbilt doesn't ruin things for themselves. They'll probably still be ranked when they see you all later in the season, the way Diego Pavia is playing. Yeah, everybody on yours, Missouri should still be ranked. They shouldn't lose this weekend. So, yeah, when you guys play Missouri, we basically will be close to playing against South Carolina. Yeah, that could be 2 games where it's you just added 6 ranked teams to go against. And you pull out at least 4 at 9-3, you may have an argument for it at large.
This was supposed to be the easy schedule.
Yeah, it really was supposed
to be the easy schedule year. And then somehow Vanderbilt decided they want to go ahead and just be a top 11 team and get ranked. And
whose idea was that?
Yeah, whose bright idea was it to let Vandy get confidence? And then if you watch the Arkansas game, I'm telling you, Taylor Green made some throws in that game that made me go, oh man. Josh Pate confidently told everybody who would listen to take the under on Arkansas at 5.5. Oh yeah. And I'm
fans weren't high on Arkansas going into the season.
They weren't.
I don't think Josh Pate was off base in how he felt.
Yeah, but to my point though is that they look a lot tougher than that. Now, look, that may still come to pass. This is the SEC.
Yeah.
But and I don't have Arkansas schedule in front of me, but I was talking to a homegirl of mine from college. She's married to Travis Williams, and she was like, "Mike, can we get that one?" I said, "I don't know. You might be able to take it." If he make the type of throws I saw him make, this is a scary year in conference, I think, for everybody but Georgia.
What's funny,
I think Georgia to win the SEC at the media days.
Same. That's who I kind of had. That's who I had basically winning it just because of de facto. I mean, they've done it between them and Bama, and I don't think Bama is as good as everybody is calling them this year. I think they have the talent. I don't know about the coaching. They're going to need to fire their defensive coordinator. I'm just going to keep it a buck. You don't make a decision of running a 3-3-5 defense against a team that's running it down your throat nonstop. Why would you do that with NFL talent on the defensive line? That just does not sound like – that's malpractice, in my personal opinion. It's malpractice. And if the team's going to keep looking at you, that's no different than Dave Aranda. He should be fired from Baylor by the end of this season because you don't just keep moving people back when you're watching a team run the ball over and over and over again on you. You've got to adjust. I didn't see that from Womack or whatever. I didn't see that from him in the game we played. So, but no, yeah, Arkansas and Mississippi State are two teams that we cannot sleep on this season in this conference. Mississippi State with that win over, now Arizona State could show us that they're truly a fluke and they're just not a good team. But the fact that they were able to pull out that win when everybody has basically said, I mean, the only team in this conference I think that everybody, we can all collectively say suck is Kentucky. Kind of it. I'm trying to think of anybody. Well, Florida's starting to hit that boat right now.
Florida might be the only other one that's sneaking down into that. But at least Florida has a really good defense, though. They do have a good defense.
Yeah.
Yes. I've argued tooth and nail with people.
But you're the film guy. What do you make of DJ Lagway? What do you make of that?
I think he just threw another interception.
He did. I caught it. I actually caught it before I came here, and I was like,
I
got to put that down.
I think Lagway is extremely talented, man, but he is out there just, I don't know what he's like. If you go back and watch some of the picks that he threw in that last game, I was just like, bro, what did you think you saw on that throw? Like, I was super, like, you are selling right now, because there's no way that you really thought someone in your jersey was going to be able to catch that pass.
And the fact that you throw 5 picks and your defense only gives up 1 offensive touchdown the entire game. It's probably the most impressive thing I've seen. And I think that's where that challenge comes in for them.
Jay, a lot of the folks that people had ranked in front of Auburn and Oklahoma to start this SEC season, turns out they're either at their level or lower at this point in the season. Yeah, the top 5 outside behind Georgia, the rest of those spots are wide open to me. There's a plethora of teams that could take those next 4 spots behind Georgia
easily.
So the winner of this game, I don't know, man. I just feel like with the way the schedule's set up for both teams, they're going to be on track to make this playoff. And if you're Hugh Freeze, that's the gift you need in year 3 to say, look, those first 2 losing seasons were worth it. Because we're in the conference, because you let me cook, you let me get my guys, you gave me the NIL support. You let me go get Jackson Arnold. If he looks resurgent on Saturday, it will quiet a lot of the critics. Your season's not over with a loss to Oklahoma. And I want to stress that to every Auburn fan listening to this show today. It's not, to me, I have said since the beginning, I've been very consistent in that I felt like Auburn just needs to get start 3-0, beat Baylor, and win one of your first 3 SEC games. If it's Oklahoma, that's great, because 4-0 opens up possibilities. Right. 3-1 after this weekend, I think things start to get a little tight.
I mean, the schedule doesn't get any easier for either side. I mean,
at Texas A&M, and then Georgia comes to the crib.
And see, to me, the challenge for you all is you've got A&M literally like next week.
Yeah.
On the road. Back.
Coming off of a bye.
Are you going to College Station tonight? You going down there?
I am going to College Station, yeah.
Middle of nowhere, Texas. God, it's a terrible place. I'm just going to tell you now.
We got to send a spy.
It's a terrible place. But we have a bye next week. Then we have Kent State. Then we got Texas. In which Texas, before they play us, in which I've tried to tell people, I think our schedule, when they talk about how challenging it is, I don't think it's going to be as challenging as people expect down the line. And there's my reason why. I think this one's going to be a good defensive matchup. It's going to be about which quarterback decides to make that thing happen.
Let me just interject here, because it just dropped, and you tell me what this looks like for y'all. The availability report says that Jeremiah Newcomb is out, Troy Everett is out, Jacob Sexton is out, and Jake Taylor is out. 3 of those being offensive linemen. Is that a big deal for Oklahoma?
Let me go look at this real quick. Your first availability report. So, no.
Okay.
That is actually a good thing. So let me explain why. Our questionables is where I'm like, oh my God. But
Zion Kearney, I can't pronounce the next dude's
Fabichi
name.
Wewu, Michael
Okay.
Fasusi. Michael Fasusi is our 5-star offensive lineman who starts at left tackle.
I didn't realize how many offensive linemen are on questionable. Jeez.
Jake Michla is our starting center.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah Autry-Dent he's a backup tackle. Okay. Marvin Jones Jr. is the 5-star recruit we got from Florida State.
So wait a minute, if all these guys are questionable and then these other guys are out, who's going to play offensive line for Oklahoma in this game?
Right, thanks. So let me talk about that part. So this is kind of where things get very interesting. I was waiting for this to happen. Troy Everett was last season our starting center. He actually came back the Tennessee game. He tore his meniscus in spring ball, had surgery, or messed up something his knee. Missed all of fall, beginning of fall, came back Tennessee game, started the rest of the season at center. Actually pretty fantastic. Really good because of that. Started week 1 against Illinois State, but he did not play against Michigan. Jake Michla, the transfer from Stanford, actually came in and started at center in that game. He looked really good. He's actually one of the highest graded centers in college football right now. Troy Everett tore his meniscus in his other knee before the Michigan game.
Oh, no.
So he's done for another year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Feel
that.
God awful for the kid.
Yeah,
like you come back from one and then you do it to the other one. So Everett's gone. Jacob Sexton's one of our veteran left tackles. He hurt himself in the first game, so I knew he was going to be gone. Jake Taylor is our third string right tackle, who we rotate a lot of linemen in the cupcake games. We rotate a lot of them. He was a big deal. The doubtfuls here, in which I'm going to hear about your players as well, who you think is going to be important. But doubtful here, Giovanni Gibson and Eli Bowen, neither have played this year. Okay. Eli was a freshman All-American. I think his first big game, actually, he got an interception in an Alabama game. That's when he really emerged in college football. And Giovanni's a transfer wide receiver that hurt his ankle. I think he broke his tibia and fibia in spring ball. Yeah, right. Somebody rolled on him when they were blocking. He was blocking, and a receiver got tripped, and he rolled on his ankle, snapped it.
Damn.
Luckily, because of that, he's actually because it was a clean break, the surgery was good, and he's actually able to play. They said there was no ligament damage, so that means he should be back by Kent State. The questionables are where things get a little dicey. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I think the 3 starters, Wewu, Fasusi, and Michla, all end up at probable tomorrow, and then off the list Saturday morning.
That sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Kearney remains improbable, but he played last week against Temple, and there was no side effects from what he was dealing with. And I think the biggest one on this list, to be honest, is that Keontae Lewis, improbable. He got leveled against Temple, and it looked like he got a concussion. So he's in protocol.
Okay.
With him being probable, I'm very excited at that. That means he's going to play, and he's a really good deep threat weapon and big body weapon. Like, I think he runs like a 4.45 40.
Okay.
He's one that John Mateer has taken an early liking to. Actually, him, Burks, as well as Satania are the 3 players that he has really fallen in love with.
Jay, just to clarify, Everett is the center that got hurt in game 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't not played since week.
He ain't played the last 2 weeks. He didn't play Michigan. He didn't play Temple. Now, Michael, I think he kind of had a slight ankle twist or something against Temple at the end of the game. But what I've heard is he's good for this game. Okay. So I expect him to move off questionable. If anybody stays at probable, it's probably him. But I think that we'll be solid. And our offensive line, at least the top 8 players that we need will be ready to play in this game.
Cool. Goodness. All right. And looking at Auburn's list here, Darrell Robinson was the obvious one that was going to be out for this game. Amaris Williams and Jay Crawford listed currently as doubtful. If I were to venture a guess, I would say Amaris is not going to play, even though he's practiced this week. Jay Crawford may move into a game time decision. Champ Anthony, Eric Singleton, Rayshon Pleasant, and Isavion Miller all listed as questionable. I'd be shocked if any of those people are unavailable for the game, based upon what Q Free said on Monday about all of those guys could play then. So if they're worse now, I'd find that odd. And probable Damari Alston, Malcolm Simmons, both of those guys. Damari said he could have played the last 2 weeks and didn't. So he's likely going to be playing. Malcolm Simmons likely going to play as well. So the only one on this list outside of Darrell Robinson that we already knew, Amaris Williams, I think is probably the least likely to play. And I think Jay is probably going to be a game time decision.
Makes sense. So Singleton, how's that hip pointer? Is it real?
I mean, so that's the question that everybody had, right? Like he went out late in the game last week, and Coach Hugh Freeze said everything seemed like it was going to be okay with him. They were going to test it out this week, and he's still listed as questionable on here, but I still would expect him to play. And
I've been told he's going to go. I've been told he's going to go.
Makes sense. And I figured he's going to probably. This is a big game. You kind of want to have him out there in hopes of, I mean, you need him. You really need him. Just being realistic. He's a really good receiver, and he helps take a lot of pressure off your other good receivers, right? It's always great to have a number one, but if they're the only person that everybody can focus on while you're breaking in younger wide receivers, it don't help. So I totally expect him to play. Pleasant. I've heard a little bit about him. He's expected to play though, isn't he?
More than likely.
Yeah,
more than likely he'll play. And I mean, for the most part, and he practiced this week, which is why it's interesting. He's listed as questionable. I wonder if maybe something flared back up because he was practicing at corner in place of Jay Crawford during practice this week. But he has been primarily used as the kick returner. He's the guy who returned the kickoff for a touchdown in the Baylor game.
Yeah,
makes sense.
So, again, I would expect him to play even if it's just in special teams. And again, the rest of that list, Champ Anthony, he had the hand issue. He got his stitches out this week, so he's going to be available to be out there. DA, again, could have played last week. Malcolm Simmons could have played last week. I think they're just kind of holding them back and making those game time decisions for those guys. I did not know that Isaiah Miller had an issue, though. I did not know Too Tall was hurt at all. So I'm assuming that's something that happened at practice this week because he hasn't been on any sort of injury updates at all up until just now. So I don't know what that's about.
Eric Singleton Jr. is tied for the most targets on this team with Cam Coleman through 3 weeks. 13 catches on 15 targets. Him and Jackson Arnold seem to be on the same page. The time in between these two guys is really good. I think having him out would definitely be a hit for this offense at this point because Oklahoma's going to make it tough. And, I'm in a place where I need people to understand that the Oklahoma defense got the horses to force Auburn to play both dimensions of this football game.
And I really feel like that's going to be the plan. It's going to be the Auburn game plan and the Michigan game plan for real. Because when we played Alabama last year, the Alabama and the Michigan one. We played Alabama last year. Jalen Milroe the week before ran for like 180 yards or something like that against LSU. Like he was just cooking them. And of course, you thinking LSU was gonna, they were having a good year. You thought they were gonna do some bigger stuff. And you're like, dang, how the heck that happened? You let him just dominate you like that? So when we went up against them, we were like, nah, you're not gonna run, dog. You gonna use that arm of yours, and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And so that was kind of our game plan there, is forcing that. And so I say this with all love. Brent Venables knows Jackson Arnold.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. This conversation is about to get into the thick of this. I need to talk. We need to talk about this. Let's do it on the other side of our commercial break, though, because I got a lot of comments here we need to get to, and we are definitely going to talk BV versus JA here in just a minute. You are watching the Midweek Report. If you haven't hit that like button, you are absolutely wrong, and you need to rectify for your sins. Atonement is upon you. Go ahead and hit that like button. We'll be right back after this quick word from our sponsors.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. Golden's Cast Iron. Whether you work out, grill out, or chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at goldenscastiron.com.
The Rage Room. The Rage Room is a place where anger and stress find their ultimate release. Set up a session today at one of the 2 great locations in Opelika or Birmingham by visiting opelikarageroom.com or birminghamrageroom.com.
Sign up as a patron. $5.99 a month will get you there, guys. After the game is over, you want to see what happened, and you want to do it with Ike on the Watch the Film. We've been getting great feedback from you guys in the comments on social media, in the DMs. You guys love Watch the Film. Your financial support helps keep that segment going. $5.99 a month. We appreciate it. Let's give away some memberships. Smash that gifted membership button and help somebody else enjoy all the great paywall content that we have. As I mentioned, not only watch the films, but Ike's going to be on the road all fall covering football for you guys. So he went to Waco. He's going to brave Norman. He's going to College Station, one of the worst places on earth. He's there for you guys. Be there for him. Give away a membership. We appreciate it. Check out our merch store. Lots of fly merch. You can get in there, and you can bug out with our Born to Bug collection. All great stuff. Visit thewarreport.com and click on the merch store there. I've been seeing people at the games with this stuff on. It's fun to see you guys out there wearing the gear, representing the channel. We appreciate your support. I want to thank our friends at Golden's Cast Iron. No, just kidding. Not Golden's Cast Iron. At the Rogue Shop. Visit rogueshop.com. Use code REPORTER. Get 15% off your Rogue Shop order. Pain, sleep, stress, anxiety, whatever ails you in life, the Rogue Shop has something that has you covered. We appreciate them for sponsoring this segment. And we want to thank our friends at Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates. Investing doesn't have to be complicated. At Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates, you get clear, straightforward advice from a team of fiduciaries who always put your interests first. They've been helping clients grow and protect their wealth since 2003 with no gimmicks and no products to sell, just disciplined investment advice. Whether you're just starting out, building your portfolio, or looking to preserve wealth for the long term, AIMA provides guidance tailored to your goals, giving you confidence in every financial decision. Call AIMA at 912-777-4128 or visit aiminc.com to see how they make investing simple and effective. The War Rapport has been compensated by Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates for this endorsement. AIMA is a registered investment advisor. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. The information in this advertisement is for informational purposes only and should not be considered personalized investment advice. All investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Please hit up AIMA today. You don't need millions of dollars to need an investment advisor. You just need a paycheck and some things you care about, and these guys can help you, I promise. I want to thank our friends at SetsForSociety.ai. The road to knowing yourself better starts with Sets for Society. They have custom personality assessments that tell you more about how you think, how those around you think, and how you guys can think best together to accomplish like goals. Again, visit SetsForSociety.ai today to get your custom personality assessment started. Get to know yourself with Sets for Society.
All right, let's get over here into this comment section because there are comments aplenty flying around out here from the people. Appreciate the new membership sign up there from Alex.
Hey.
Appreciate the super chat from our guy 9-time champion who says we're at 6.5-point underdog. They always said home field was worth 3, but how much is our lag worth? At least 6, bro. At least 6. Maybe 6.5. Lag is length and girth, by the way, just in case you know. The John Hendricks, appreciate you becoming a member. Only because you super chat will I even mention your name here in the comments, Daniel, because you are the eternal cloud of doom hovering over every chat. That 6.5-point underdog should be more. Okay, whatever, bro. A Deets, big time super chat says, hit the dang like button, War.
Hey.
Damn it. I feel you, man, because y'all in here in this chat talking crazy, not hitting the like button. It's disrespectful. Wipe your feet before you come in the house.
Wipe your feet.
You know what I'm saying? But let's get back over into the conversation because you are about to get into it
Jealous.
Brent Venables had 2 seasons of seeing what Jackson Arnold was all about in practice. He knows the tendencies of the young man. You feel like he's going to read his mail Saturday, right?
I mean, we're football aficionados here. We like to partake in the film study of players and things that they do. The one thing we all do understand, though, is that we're all human. We all have habits. We all have things that we typically regress back to our comfort zone when we're in situations that are uncomfortable. And that's something that's very hard to get past. And I'm gonna preach this sermon to your people because I want them to understand this. This is something that I learned in listening to players talk ball. And this is where the greats come in and how they're able to be great. Your Tom Brady's, Drew Breeses, right? Your Peyton Mannings, etc. Your Cam Newtons. They got past that. When they got uncomfortable, they didn't regress back to the mean. They stayed at that level, or they moved on to a new level to where it made it really hard to adjust to what they're doing. It makes it hard to switch things up because, still one of my favorite plays, Cam Newton looking at, I think it's Luke Kuechly. No, it wasn't Luke Kuechly. It was another line. Clay Matthews. Yes. Clay Matthews called the play out. Hey, it's going to be this. He's like, oh, you watch film. Watch this then. Boom, hit him for a touchdown. And I'm just like you knew what was coming, but you still couldn't stop it. My point is, when the greats are really hard to figure out in that capacity or even forced to do certain things. Jackson Arnold is young. So we still got another year or two before he could possibly get out of that shell. The unfortunate thing is, so far this season, he looks like the exact same dude he was the first 3 games at Oklahoma. Very not wanting to throw across the middle, big time on throwing on the outside, shorter passes. I'll launch a deep one and take a hit because he will. Like I've seen him take a hit against Baylor. I saw him take a hit. I think it was South Alabama. He took a shot. When he was playing for us, he did that against Temple. He did that against Houston. He gets that in Tulane. He'll step into those passes and he'll still throw them with comfort. But he still got some of those old tendencies in there that he can't get past yet. I think that's what Brent Venables is going to exploit. He's going to make him throw the ball more than he wants to. And I don't think we're going to be idiotic and say, oh, yeah, you can go ahead and run. We want to stop the deep pass because you got really good receivers. Nah, our 2 corners are the type of dudes that say, no, I want you one-on-one. That's why, like, Donovan McCulley had an okay game. He caught a pass on us with our safety across the middle. He literally caught on the dude's helmet. So it was kind of like, what? How to take that? Can't stop those. Not all those are going to be stopped. I don't expect us to shut down either Cam or Singleton, but I do expect us to make life a living hell for both of them. That's kind of okay.
All right. So somebody said this in the comments, and you've said it again, that Jackson Arnold does not like to throw the ball over to the middle of the field. I haven't seen that this year. They're running that little sit down route for the tight end. He's hit that multiple times.
Yeah,
he's hit that crosser to Eric Singleton a few times in this last game. I'm looking at the statistics right now, according to PFF,
right.
And he has 35, 55, 65 attempts on the season, and 27 of those have been to the center of the field.
How far?
Varying lengths. I'm just
fair. I'm looking at it as well. I'm pulling up the dots too.
Look, I'll help you out. He's 8 of 13 in the middle of the field from 0 to 10 yards. He's 5 of 7, 10 to 20 yards, and he's 1 of 2 deep middle right now. So here's I want to add a point. I'm just going to add a point, and I'm going to give the floor back to Ike. I think, assuming that Jackson Arnold of today is Jackson Arnold of last year, it might be one of the biggest mistakes that he can make in this game. If I'm Brent Venables, I'm playing the scheme and not the player, because Auburn can beat you multiple ways. And I mentioned this at the top of the show. This was a really, really good Oklahoma defense last year, and they racked up 500 yards of offense with Peyton Thorne at quarterback. If you believe Jackson is even a little bit better than Peyton, plus Cam, a sophomore Cam Coleman, and not a true freshman Cam Coleman, plus Eric Singleton, plus a sophomore Malcolm Simmons, and not a true freshman Malcolm Simmons. They might be missing Jarquez Hunter, but I think that Jackson's legs make up for whatever they're missing there at running back, because Damari and Jeremiah are really good, but they don't have to carry the load the way that Jarquez had to at times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if they do, and this is one of the things Hugh Freeze talks about, I will give him credit for this. He built his team this way. He said, look, man, at some point, it doesn't matter what plays we call. We need guys who can just go out and win their matchups.
Yep.
That's why you go get Cam Coleman, because you believe when the ball's in the air, he's going to win more times than he's going to lose. That's why you bring Eric Singleton in. That's why you have Malcolm Simmons. There was a throw. Do you remember during the Baylor game? There was a throw. Well, you were at the stadium, so you maybe didn't hear this. But RG3 was on the call, did a great job, by the way. I actually very enjoyed him calling that football game.
He's fun calling games.
He got caught in a moment where it was like 3rd and 17, and he was like, there's just no call for 3rd and 17. And then
that was a seam route to Malcolm Simmons.
Rips one in the seam. Perfect throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a whole shot that he hit to Malcolm, and I mean it was a really great throw. Again, I'm not saying that where I will agree with you, my guy Jay. Where I will agree is I don't know that he's seeing the kind of pressure that Oklahoma is going to apply to him.
Yeah.
And with that pressure, will he revert to some of those poor tendencies that he's had prior to Auburn? That's the goal. A distinctive possibility.
Right. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I said that, is that I'm not saying that he's not better, because I've seen he looks better. He looks like he's actually throwing the ball with a little bit more comfort. The goal here is to make him revert back. They're going to want him to be in the mindset of, I don't want to throw it. I want to throw it. I want to throw it.
All right. So let me ask you this, because there's been, I think, a dichotomy amongst fans who are coming to the comment section and telling Auburn fans what they should expect from Jackson Arnold, right? Because we watched him all season. We know this guy better than you. Is the strategy to take away his legs and make him a thrower? Or is it going to be drop back and make him make decisions versus cloud coverages and just disguise what that coverage looks like?
Honestly, I think it's going to be more of forcing him to make decisions, but also make them quickly, right? Like, that's the one thing that this defense likes to do. Michigan, that was one of their biggest problems. Michigan's scheme had to be adjusted, mainly because, one, you got a true freshman on the road in his second career ever start. That's tough for anybody. You don't want that ever. But Bryce Underwood showed us, in the next game, he's like, I get comfortable, I can do this. But they had to change their whole scheme, because the fear was Oklahoma's going to put a bunch of pressure on you. They're going to throw an exotic blitz at you based upon the cloud coverage or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And you won't be prepared for it, and you're going to end up throwing the ball away or fumbling, right? Jackson's issue last year was turning the ball over. He ain't doing that now. Knock on wood, he's not really doing it, except for that one throw that he threw that I think it went out of bounds. It was called a fumble or whatnot. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's the Jackson that I remember. Don't be doing that, dog. You better than that. Don't try to throw it. No, hold on to it and just take the sack sometimes if you really need to. Don't do it, dog. I want you to be successful, just not in this game. I want you to be successful long term. And
to the Oklahoma fans who have expressed that, I can definitely sympathize with that feeling, because I felt like that about just about every Auburn player in every sport that has ever transferred away. Wish you all the success in the world, except for one game a year.
Yeah, just one game.
I want you to have the worst game you could possibly have.
And that's what I'm hoping we force every turnover possible. But no, because he shows so many wrinkles of the 5-star talent. Like, when I came on here, when he transferred, and that was the one thing I was explaining to everybody in here, is that if Hugh can unlock his ability to quickly process the routes and get rid of the ball faster, dude, he's going to be a problem, because that was what he was really good at in mop-up duty behind Dylan Gabriel. He didn't have to be the guy to run everything. He just came in when he needed to. It's like, all right, we're playing ball in the backyard. Get back to that mentality of playing backyard football. If you do that, I think he'd be good. But I do believe that it'll be a lot of, I think they're going to try to throw the kitchen sink at him. And I think that's going to be the one thing I might not like about this game. because I don't really think you have to keep it, because I think it's going to be close regardless. I think it's going to be tough for both teams to move. But because as you mentioned, Mike, which is a great point from last season, we finished that game with like 280 yards. I'm not sure if you knew this, but we didn't have an offense. So it was really easy for everybody to do stuff to our defense, even with the defense being good, because they were on the field for like 40 minutes per game. The offense just found a way to go 3 and out within about 35 seconds, and it was just like, that sucks. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
But that happens.
That's the thing, too, for this season. Both of these offenses, listen, the quarterback play is better this year on both sides of the ball. And you have a very different mentality with John Arbuckle coming in as the offensive coordinator there in Oklahoma towards how you want to be able to play football offensively. John Mateer with his legs. Listen, I just sat and watched this Michigan game from an all-22, and I was just like, did Michigan even know John Mateer was able to run? Because they didn't stop the quarterback run very well at all that entire game.
I was told that it was impossible for him to do it in the SEC. I think that's probably the mindset that they had to. It's like, oh, well, he came from Washington State. There's no way that an offensive coordinator who also had Cam Ward, who ended up getting drafted #1 in the NFL draft, by the way, no way he could do it a second time, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, again, they didn't seem prepared for the QB run.
They were not
at all. And I was just like, yo, it had to be some film somewhere that said, oh, they like to run this stuff. Maybe we should have a plan for it. They didn't have a plan at all for that stuff, man. And so he, with his legs, was a huge difference in what happened in that game. He was a little risky with the ball at times. He had one interception that was an overthrown pass. Probably should have had 2 more picks in that game, if we're being honest.
No. I think you're a good point. And you even made this point earlier. The offensive line get stronger as the game progresses.
When they needed to run the football late in that game, they were just turning around, handing it off, switch it up. We're going to do delayed QB, run. Like they were methodically 3-4 yards at a time, marching it down the field when they needed it versus Michigan at the end of that game. Early in the game, run game was not looking great, but fourth quarter, money time, they looked good.
Which is, to me, the most important time. And it's more of I think that's more of a function of scheme with Ben Arbuckle, testing things out, playing around with what's available. I knew that John Mateer was going to take over that game against Michigan. Like, that was literally the game of, hey, if you want to be in the national spotlight, this is your game. Make it happen. He did it. And so this one, I expect us to be a little bit more balanced, a little bit. I still think John's going to run the ball like 15 to 17 times. I mean, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Diego Pavia runs the ball a whole bunch, and he's still alive. Rumor has it quarterbacks die when they run too much. Jackson Arnold runs it a lot too, but he seems to be breathing very well right. Well, Mike, can you confirm that? Because I looked at the injury report. I didn't see his name on there. Can you confirm that he's alive? For me, because most quarterbacks in the SEC, they say he can't do it, even though Jaden Daniels won the Heisman by running all season. My point is, this dude's built. He's built like Jalen Hurts. Let's just keep it a buck.
He is. Well, he's what, 215, 225?
He's 220. He's 225. He's like roughly around 224-ish. Is his range. He squats 550. He's all legs. Yeah. He squats like 550. So yeah, he's gonna run. I expect at minimum 15 carries from him in this game. So the question is Auburn gonna be prepared to push guys up to stop that, and also be prepared to, if he decides to fake that and throw it like a lob to the tight end in the middle of the field?
Discipline, I think, is the biggest thing for this Auburn defense in this game. How disciplined they're going to test your discipline and your ability to be sound and not overplay it. I watched that middle linebacker for Michigan. Well, multiple guys playing middle linebacker for Michigan just overrun gaps and be out of position. I was just like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I would say Auburn defensively, you again, recruiting wins. You go out and you get guys who can run down John Mateer. And so far, I mean, against the run, 65 yards allowed to Baylor, -3 yards versus Ball State. South Alabama was a bit of a different kind of game, but like people aren't running the ball on Auburn. My guess would be that Durkin, because they tighten up in the red zone.
Yeah, same.
You get the ball down there. but they don't let you punch it in. And I think that if you can take away the big plays, if you're Auburn on defense, the 40-yard shots for a touchdown, and you can make them have to play perfect red zone offense to score on you the way that they've done, quite frankly, since Hugh Freeze has been at Auburn.
Yeah.
We keep saying this. Nobody ran away from Auburn on the scoreboard last year, despite going 5-7. Go back and look at them 7 losses.
They were close.
There were no
numbers.
3 touchdown wins. At best, you won by a couple scores, right? So
that was only Georgia.
Yeah, that was
no, Bama.
Yeah, 2 scores, but they turned Bama over 4 times in that game.
It should have probably lost by more, but
yeah,
or even having closer. It's more of a y'all were in the same situation we had last year for the most part, right? Like y'all had a better one with Hunter being the lead back running things, but Thorne just wasn't really doing it at quarterback, and so you kind of had a pseudo one-dimensional offense that kind of made it tough. But overall, like you said, you kept games close. The defense did a lot of work.
I would just caution Oklahoma fans from thinking that these first 3 games are any indication of what Hugh Freeze is bringing in game 4.
Yeah, no, I don't even think this game, honestly, is going to tell us much until later this season, if you want me to be honest. I think that September is still preseason for a lot of these coaches, still understanding their quarterback, what they want to do with them. And I think that going into October, we'll understand who's who.
Nobody put pressure on Auburn, Jay. Baylor didn't do it.
Nope.
So much so that Hugh Freeze was able to suppress his pass demons and just keep running the ball because it was working so well. You didn't feel pressure, against Ball State. Despite how everyone acted about South Alabama, you didn't feel any pressure in that game.
Like, it was never in danger.
Yeah, the game was never in doubt, right? Like, Auburn has looked like the more talented team each of these first 3 games. And the talent gap is showing up. I'm not saying they called a perfect game, but they recruited well enough that they
got the horses to do it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a bar from Hugh Freeze when he talks about you just need guys who can go out at the end of the day and win their matchups. And if you're Auburn, what are the matchups you want to win? Well, you want to win your offensive line versus D line. That you've got to win that matchup if you're Auburn. That means you've got to be able to create space in the run game and allow Jackson to play comfortably.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to have to complete a pass or 2 down the field. But for the most part, the lack of taking deep shots is not because he don't want to pull the trigger. They haven't had to. There's no reason to throw risky passes through 3 games. Baylor couldn't force you to do it.
Nope.
None of the teams after could have forced you to do it. If you want to do it just to do it, I guess. There's no reason to do that. Now, Oklahoma absolutely has the horses to make Auburn do it. But also, this is the first time that I think a lot of Auburn fans are going to see what this Hugh Freeze offense should be. He was clear last year that they felt like they didn't have the talent to run the offense the way that they wanted to run it. Now you don't have no excuse. There's no reason to hold anything back in this game. Just go win it. And if it just so happens that Auburn dominates certain aspects or Oklahoma dominates certain aspects, I think that's just going to add a layer of complexity to this game that should make it even more fun. But it's what I could see, what I foresee in this game as I see John Mateer running up a bunch of yards, but finding trouble in the red zone.
I can see that. I'm looking at the shout out to my guy Stats by Popo. He puts together a nice spreadsheet of all of the advanced metrics and numbers and stuff for both teams. So we do it every week for our matchups, and I got to make a video on that tomorrow. But looking at it right now, you all are 34th third down defense ranked, 25th in red zone defense ranked. Pretty freaking good to start. That's really good to start. SP Plus got you at 14th as far as defense efficiency at 26th, FEI defense 25th, defensive EPA 16th, defensive success rate 15th. Yeah, you got the defense for it. You got the defense to cause problems. 100%. All it is now is execution. And for Oklahoma, it's going to be on John Mateer it's going to be a combination of John Mateer making the right decisions and the receivers being where they're supposed to be. That's one thing that I actually noticed. It was, Aaron Murray, the Mac and Murray show or whatnot. I used to do snaps back in the day. And he was going through a lot of Mateer's plays, and his 3 interceptions, he's pointed out each time. He's like, yeah, these aren't on John. And this is why. John throws to where the receiver's supposed to be. The receiver don't go there. Can't do much about it. And so that's why I say it's a combination. He's going to have to get the gunslinginess is going to have to stay calm. He's going to pull it out the holster every once in a while, but he's got to be calm with some of it. But the receivers have got to be at the spots that he's expecting them to be, because a lot of this stuff does end up being timing, especially with an explosive defense that you're going against. You got to make sure that you put the ball in the right time at the right spot, and the receiver has to be there to at least make an attempt to catch it. And I think that that's kind of the one thing they've worked the most on. It's making sure that the timing is right. That's why I said the 3 guys that he seems to have gravitated to, Keontez Lewis, Isaiah Satania, and Deion Burks, and Jaren Kanak, the tight end, which he's a converted linebacker. I don't know if y'all knew that, which is pretty darn absurd. Leading the country in tight ends and yards. But those 4, he's going to spread it around. So the question is, does Auburn have the horses to keep up with all of them, especially when you're dealing with some nicks and, some dings in the secondary?
Yeah, listen, one thing is super clear for me watching this tape, and, of course, he's been in this offense for a while. John Mateer has a command of this offense, and he understands where he needs to go with the football for most situations that they're going to have. Everybody else is trying to catch up with where he is as far as his knowledge of these things. I'm hoping they haven't caught up quite yet. It takes another week or so before everybody else around him quite figures it out. Maybe a call or two where he's like, hey, you're supposed to be running the out route, and they sit the route down and he throws it out and the DB sitting right there. Like, just, one or two of those in this game, I'd be happy with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of those miscommunications happening this Saturday. We're going to go back to the comment section here in just a second, but before we do, Jay, talk to me about this tight end, because I think this young man is balling so far this year.
Jaren Kanak. So he is a very funny development story just in general. So Kanak, he's from Kansas, Hays, Kansas, which is roughly 5.5 hours from the Oklahoma City metro. Brent Venables was on a recruiting trip to see him, and then he took the Oklahoma job. After the recruiting trip, takes the Oklahoma job, Jaren Kanak picks up the phone and tells him, hey, I don't want to go to Clemson anymore. I want to go to Oklahoma. I want to play linebacker for you. BV tells him, nah, you said you're going to commit to Clemson. I want you to be a man of your word. You need to go to Clemson. Kanak said, all right, cool. Kanak hit up Dabo, got the blessing. He walked on at OU. Think BV saw him at practice like, hey, whoa, what are you doing here? Type deal. Like he said, I want to play linebacker for you. He ran a 10.3 100 in high school at like 220 pounds. Lightning fast. Very fast. Big guy. But he wants to play linebacker. And he was not good. The biggest issue was he would go to spaces really fast, and a lot of time it was the wrong place. And he recognized that in himself as well. He recognized that he that just wasn't going to work out. And so we had been dealing with some injuries and issues with tight ends, and so we brought in some more. And what I heard was in camps, he was just ridiculous catches. He was always open. And he makes a joke that he's Waffle House because he's always open, which is even more hilarious. But he goes out there and literally, if you ask any Sooner fan about him, say, gun to your head, I want to know what you thought about Jaren Kanak before the season started playing tight end. Most of them said, man, I hope he figures out how to block occasionally. That's it. We expect literally zero out of him. And it was no shade on him. It was the fact that he played linebacker for 3 years.
Right.
Dude, they're like, oh, wait a minute. Where did this come from? Like, You could not give me
this year, man.
He's been balling, man. Like, it's out of nowhere. And so I think the most impressive thing has been how soft his hands has been in these catches across the middle, deep. Like, it's always that when Mateer is looking for an exit ramp, he somehow is always ready to catch the ball. We did not expect that. Literally, you cannot, not a single Sooner fan, they would be lying to you if they said it. We just thought that it would be cool story to see him try out at tight end. We didn't think he was going to be one of the best tight ends to start the season off.
Yeah, he's doing his thing right now. Can't be mad at that. So I'm looking for, and now the reason why I pointed out is because Auburn has already struggled with a tight end so far this season. That Baylor game, it was a problem out there. So hopefully it's not going to be a situation this time like it was with Michael Trick. All right, let's get to these comments before we get out of here. A lot of super chats, need to make sure we get to them. Stephen Neely says, in my opinion, the biggest X factor in this game will be Hugh Freeze's play calling. Can he put Jackson Arnold in the best position to overcome any perceived advantage by BV, the advantage that BV believes OU has? So it can Freeze scheme it up where Brett Venables is trying to scheme it up is the question here. I mean, I think the answers are going to be there with the RPO. He's just got to make the right decisions.
That's all it is. It's gonna be a combination of both. Hugh putting him in the right spots and him making the right decisions. And I think he can get to that point. I think he's gonna grow into that. Like I said, I know he has the talent. We've watched him. I mean, hell, you've watched him the first 3 games. You're like, okay, it's there. How do we unlock it? Right? It may take him another year. It may, but he's got it. We know he's there. So
yeah, he's got the tools for sure.
Yep.
9-time champ. Facts or not, Lou Holtz never coached at Oklahoma because he would have only been able to say Boomer Thuner. I'm not with y'all. Wow. Jazzy Joe jumps in and says 300 for an Auburn win. Let's go. Jazzy's committing $300 super chat in the post game. If Auburn wins, he follows that up with 20 gifted memberships. Thanks so much for that, my guy Joe. He jumps back in and says, what about Aiden Ike? You are correct. Let me amend my previous statement because I did not wish good things on Aiden Holloway when he transferred from Auburn, but that's Aiden's fault. That's on him. He's the one that was talking trash on the way out the door. So let me say it this way. I wish nothing but good things on the players who don't talk trash on their way out the door. If you do that, then I can't help you. It's your fault. You open that door, then you walk through it on your own. 9-time champion jumps back in. Jay Smith, the best Oklahoma Sooner YouTuber. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Love coming on here, man. Gotta do it more
man.
often.
It's always a good time when our guy Jay jumps in here. Any final thoughts, man? I'm not gonna ask you to give no like score prediction, nothing like that, because I'm sure you have that on your channel that you want to do. But any other final thoughts that you would want to give the people before you slide up out of here?
I think it's gonna be a fun game. I don't want anybody to feel like let's put it this way. I don't think that this is going to be a blowout. I just do not. I don't have it in my heart or in my feeling that it's going to be that. I think both defenses is going to cause problems. I think Durkin is going to make some issues and make Mateer think a lot more. I think BV's going to do the same with him and Hugh battling each other. So Arbuckle versus Durkin, BV versus Freeze is going to be a good chess match. I just think it's going to end up being close. I think field goals are going to matter in this game. So the biggest question is, how comfortable are y'all with y'all's kicking game? Because we are kind of right now. That to me feels like it's going to be the thing that's going to determine a lot of this.
I mean, listen, I'll answer that question right now. Probably in that same space, only because Alec McPherson has been under the weather / dealing with this stomach situation, right? He's had like a ongoing thing for like the last. He didn't play almost at all last year because he had the whole situation going on with irritable bowel. I don't know what it's whatever it is. It's messing with him. He hasn't been able to eat consistently, so his strength hasn't been there for him to be able to make the distance kicks, and that's played with his ability to do that. And then Auburn's backup kicker, who was kicking the long distance ones, has had a case of the yips that is like inexplicable. So there's another guy that they're trying out there. Gibbs got a big leg, just hasn't had a lot of kicks at this level. So hoping kicks of 40 or less will get them in a good position to be able to make that sort of thing. So, yeah, we will see for sure. One last super chat here. Again, Jazzy Joe says, Jay, the shirt is on point. Likes the shirt that you got rocking right there, Jay. So
appreciate it. Appreciate it. You know, a little Leslie Nielsen, a little Naked Gun, if you understand it. Nice beaver. That's what we do. Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Mike G, final thoughts before we get up out of here tonight.
Yeah, look, if you're Auburn, you got to come out and play like this is your Super Bowl. You have been doubted. People have underestimated you. They have called you losers. They have said you will never win. They've called your coach a loser. You have fielded every insult a football team could field for 2 years. And you are what your record says you are. Auburn is 3-0. Right now, you're winners. Go out and play like winners on Saturday. Auburn is one of a few places where you can actually win a national championship. You know how I know? Because they've done it. In our lifetime, they've done it. In our lifetime, we've seen Cam Newton. In our lifetime, we've seen Jason Campbell and Ronnie Brown and Carnell Williams. We've seen Heismans. We've seen first-round draft picks. Hugh Freeze has been given the keys to that caddy. And for the first 2 years, he's driven it straight into a wall while telling everybody, hey, wait till I get it to my mechanic. The car's got to be fixed, man. It's got to be drivable. I'm not saying that you got to go out and win or your season's over on Saturday. But you got to go out there Saturday and you got to fight like hell. And if Oklahoma gets out there with the win, they got to remember the day the Auburn Tigers rolled into Norman. If you can't make them remember it, what are we doing? Millions of dollars. That's not an understatement. Millions have been spent building this roster and this program. You have a performance facility that's $92 million. It rivals what some NFL teams have. Win. Fans showed up. Jay, last year, fans showed up.
They did.
Win number 5 against Texas A&M. They've celebrated like they won the Super Bowl. It's time for this coach to show those fans why that loyalty isn't misplaced. Why he should continue to deserve the unwavering loyalty from this fan base. I've talked about it before on this channel. It's not cheap to get your family to a game. You Auburn unit football are not entitled to anybody's time or money. And to the extent that 100,000 people decide that they want to go watch Auburn football on a Saturday, they deserve to have a product on the field they can be proud of. Saturday could be the start of showing people that trust is not misplaced. It's a fine line between belief and delusion when it comes to sports. And for 4 years, the rest of college football have been telling Auburn fans that they're delusional. It's time for that delusion to be seen as belief, and it can start on Saturday. Go whoop their ass, man. Make them feel it. What I will not be able to tolerate is a football team that comes out looking lackluster, unprepared, and unmotivated. If Oklahoma plays the better game and they just got the better quarterback and the better athletes and the better, okay, I can deal with that. But on paper, this should be a tough game. And the winner should come out of it feeling really good And the loser should come out of it still feeling pretty good, knowing that they lost to a quality football team that didn't just lay down, that made them lay it all on the line, that made them lay their heart on the line to walk out with the dub. I'm talking about if you want the win, you got to sacrifice limbs, man. You got to put your heart on the line for this one. We're not going to let you walk in there. They're not going to let Auburn just walk in there and walk out with a dub uncontested. You got to want it. And you got to want it more than them. Auburn's been wearing L's a lot longer than Oklahoma has these last 4 years. There's no way they should be more motivated than you in this football game. A lot of guys could have walked out the door this offseason, fellas. They stayed. A good amount of guys decided to stay on the plains because commitments and promises were made that this thing would get better and that they're going to turn it around and that they will be the start of a new era of Auburn football. I'll close with this. Back when I was in school, me and Ike were in school at Auburn in the early 2000s. Some of those guys on those defenses, on those teams, they weren't the most highly recruited guys. But they were dogs, man. Every 2 days, they went out there and they went to war. And we knew fights were going to break out. They were going to hold each other accountable. Our guy, King Dunlap, former NFL offensive lineman, he came on this show and he told a story about Ben Grubbs, also former offensive lineman. Ben was his senior when he was at Auburn. King came with a lackluster, half-ass attitude to practice, and Ben just got on him and started whooping his ass. That's how Ben tells it. King disputes the ass whooping. And King admitted, he was like, look, man, I was being a little punk, and my brother was holding me accountable. I want this team to look like that. There's some accountability being asked for in that locker room from the players. Hugh Freeze himself said the best teams are player-led teams. I want to see leaders on Saturday. I want to see guys who are not playing for a check, man. They're playing for pride, for the A and the U on the chest, man. It's time. And if you're Hugh Freeze, that's your charge. Put something on the field that Auburn fans can walk away feeling proud of. Because we've been drinking sour milk for 2 years. And there's money in the pot for unspoiled milk. This has got to taste like, honey, man, in week 4. I want to see Auburn go out there and do it. I want to see them fight for their lives on Saturday, man, in Norman. And if they walk away with an L, it won't be because they didn't give their all. Give the voters something to think about. Notre Dame is 0-2 somehow and still ranked in the top 25. If you're Auburn, if you walk away with this L, it better leave a taste in your mouth so sour you never want to experience that again. And if it shows on tape, when people watch the tape, if they see a team that laid it all on the line, your whole season is still in front of you. But if they see a team that didn't look like they wanted it, or they showed up, or they didn't prepare, you are what your record says you are. Go out and win, man. Too much time, too much energy, too much of everybody's everything goes into this every single week. That's part of what makes Auburn such a special place to go play. Because people care. It's why we have a business doing this. Because enough people care. And to the players, you got the money. Now show us the work. Hopefully that's the culture that's being built right now. That's how winners are built. I've seen it in my lifetime. We were on campus for that. 6 years later, they did it again. But it's been a really, really long time since we've seen a team with that kind of heart on the Plains. I want to see it on both sides of the ball. Jackson Arnold said after the press conference on Saturday, he said, this coach believed in me when a lot of other people stopped believing in me. Now let's see what that belief is worth on Saturday. What's it worth, Jackson? Don't have to come away with the W for Auburn fans to be proud of the effort that they lay on the line on Saturday. That's what I want to see. And if we can't see that, man, what are we doing? Auburn 24, Oklahoma 21. I went back and forth over this one. I was ready to call this one Oklahoma 21, Auburn 17. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think points are going to come at a premium. And I think these two teams are going to knock each other in the mouth until somebody can't get back up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Auburn lose it or in Oklahoma win it. But I'm going to pick the Tigers in this one because I think it's time for a change. I think now is the time to show what all the recruiting hype, what all the hype was about. So we'll see. I got a ton of respect for Oklahoma, what Brent Venables has built down there. I think them boys are going to play well on Saturday. I think they're going to defend their home. I think that the O and the U means something to them. They're not going to let you – if you're Auburn, they're not going to let you just walk in there and take it.
Highest winning percentages in the country at home.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a fight to the death between these two teams if Auburn's going to walk out of there with the W.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing the death match on in Norman going down this weekend. Couple super chats before we out of here. Exclusive TV says Mike for pregame speeches. Dustin Pace says, Mike, thank you. War Eagle. Mike has stirred the people up. Their souls are now ready for redemption and salvation. Pass the offering plate, please. If the doors of the church are now open. Will there be one who would like to join on with the Auburn fandom? We have some nice fans with Martin Luther King on them that we're going to be passing out at the next home game for you guys. Anyway, before we get out of here, one last time, my guy, Mike G, tell the people, no, hold up. I'm violating. My bad. Jay, before we get out of here, tell the people how they can keep up with what you got going on. That's my bad, brother.
It's all right, my boy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you even thinking about me. Follow me. Find me here on YouTube at Unfair Sports. You can also check me out at Locked On Sooners. Talking about, I actually got an episode coming up tomorrow on Locked On Sooners where we're doing our crossover with Zach Blackerby over there at Locked On Auburn. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. So check us out. Well, I appreciate it, gents.
For sure. All right, Mike G, take us out of here. How can people support us?
You guys already know the deal, man. Join up as a patron if you want more film review and sermons, apparently. $5.99 a month will get you there. We appreciate you guys for signing up. Your financial support helps keep the work that we're doing here going. Thank you to everybody who gifted a membership today. I saw, I think, 20 to 30 given away. We're appreciative of that. I want to thank our title sponsor, The Rage Room. You guys see the addresses. See them for one of the most unique recreation experiences out there. You get to break a bunch of stuff. They even got a paint room where you can splash around. The Rage Room, 2 convenient Opelika locations, one in Opelika, one in Birmingham. Let them know that the War Rapport sent you when you sign in. I want to thank our friends at AIMA. That's Abel's Iannone Moore and Associates. They're registered investment advisors. Please give them a call and get your financial future on track. visit AIMC.com or call 912-777-4128 today. The QR code is on the screen for everybody watching on Fire TV or Roku stick. So you can scan that. It'll take you right there and fill some information in for you. I want to thank our friends at the Vibe Vault. Get fresh for the weekend with the Vibe Vault. If you're in the Columbus, Phoenix area and you're looking for a good haircut, they got you covered there. Not just barbers, lifestyle consultants. And setsforsociety.ai. You can visit them today to get your custom personality assessment started. Get to know yourself with Sets for Society. Check us out on podcasts, guys. We are climbing the audio charts right now. Our audio numbers are amazing. We love YouTube, but we're loving audio a lot right now, and you guys are doing a great job going over there to support everything you hear on YouTube. We drop on audio and then some. So if you don't have the time to sit down in front of your computer or watch a video, don't fret. Head on over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to the Auburn Express, as well as the other podcasts you see here. Support the whole network. But we got you guys covered, converting all our YouTube content into audio podcasts for you guys to consume on the go. We appreciate you for subscribing, turning on alerts, and making sure that you don't miss a single drop.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to those of you who have done this stuff already, but please make sure that you share the content with somebody. Make sure that you are liking this video if you're rewatching this out there, and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're at the War Rapport, X, Instagram, TW Report is the TikTok. We'll be back at you guys with more great Auburn Express content later on this week. And of course, we are in here pregame at 2 p.m. to give you final thoughts before the game this Saturday. Halftime with the Green Name Gang, reacting to everything we saw at the half. And then post-game reaction. I will be live coming to you guys from Norman inside of Memorial Stadium. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. We're out of here until the next time. And as always, War Eagle.
Oh,